Good evening, students. Today I am going to take General Science Class 8, Chapter number 7, and the name of the chapter is The Cell. Before I go through the lessons, I want to tell you something regarding how you can secure more marks in general science. Rather, how can you read and learn science easily. If you want to secure more marks in science and if you want to understand the topics of the science, then please read each and every sentence of the chapter and try to frame a question on each sentences and answer them in very short. Now, which point you cannot understand, you read repeatedly, and definitely I think you will understand visually. And after completion of the chapter, suppose you are reading the chapter The Cell, read another book containing the chapter The Cell or higher class book. It will give you more knowledge as well as to understand what is written in your lesson. Now, in this chapter, we will read Discovery of Cell. Discovery of Cell. This is the history of discovery of cell. The cell theory. Organisms show variety in cell number, shape and size, structure of a cell, cell organelles, plants and animal cell, growth and division of cell. Now, what is cell? We can define cell as cell is the structural and functional unit of life. What is cell? Cell is the structural and functional unit of life. That means, what do the organism perform? Actually, the cell performs. What kind of work the cell perform? The same kind of work is performed by the organism. What is the structure of the cell will gives the shape of the organism. What is the size and shape of the cells gives the shape of the organism. So, cell is called the structural and functional unit of life. Now, in what form the cell are organized in organism? You may notice that while a mason build up a wall, they join the bricks one after another like this. The mason build up the wall like this. This is a wall. Similarly, inside the body, the cells are also organized in different shapes. Suppose these are the example of animal cell, group of animal cell forms and structure like the wall. Here in your book it is given the living organisms are made up of several building blocks called cells. The structural and functional unit of a body is the cell. Cells vary in size and structure as they are specialized to perform different functions. Now, cells are of different size. Some are oval and round, some are pentagonal, some are rectangular. These are different kind of cell. These are different kind of, this is round and oval, this is pentagonal, this is rectangular. These are the different shapes of the cell. Cells occupy the same central position in biology as the atoms do in physics. In physics you have read about atoms. Atoms are the minute particles which possess all the characters of the materials. Let us study more about cell. Discovery of cell. Who discovered cell at first? Those who are good in general knowledge, you may have read earlier also that cell was first discovered in 1665. In 1665 by Robert Hooke. Robert Hooke. After him, in 1831, an English scientist, his name was Robert Brown. Robert Brown discovered that all cells had a centrally located body which he later termed as the nucleus. This is suppose cell. This cell was first termed by Robert Hooke and later in 1831 by Robert Brown. He discovered the nucleus, which is centrally located round object, and the object is filled with dense component called nucleoplasm. This centrally located object is termed as nucleus. Another scientist, Anton van Leeuwenhoek, a Dutch scientist in 1674, discovered cells moving freely and also saw some minute components within the cell. Later, these minute components are termed as cell organelles. That means within the cell, some minute components moves freely. These minute components are later termed as cell organelle. This is mitochondria. For example, mitochondria, Golgi apparatus, endoplasmic reticulum, ribosome, lysosome, and so on. And the cell is filled with a dense matrix. That dense matrix is nothing but plasma, and the plasma is called cytoplasm. Cytoplasm, because the plasma is present inside the cell. The plasma is present inside the cell, so the plasma is called cytoplasm. The plasma present inside the nucleus is called nucleoplasm. So, I am going to the next paragraph, the cell theory. In 1838, the two German biologists, Matthias Schleiden and Theodor Schwann, put forward the cell theory of life. The main points of this theory are as follows. All living things are made up of cells. All cells are similar in their basic structural function but are not identical. They are not look alike. They differ in size and structure. New cells are formed due to division in old cell. When a cell grew up, the grown-up cell divides into 2 or 4 and this is called cell division. Suppose this is an amoeba. It is a single cell animal called unicellular organism. This is the nucleus. These are the chromosome. This is the nucleolus. This is the plasma, cytoplasm. In the cytoplasm, mitochondria and Golgi apparatus, all these are there. Food vacuoles may also be remain. So when it get matured, in between, in the middle, it divides like this. It divides like this. And the nucleus also divides into 2 equal half. This is called cell division. When a single cell divides into 2, it is called cell division. And growth and development takes place only when old cell produce new cell. That means it is called cellular reproduction. Reproduction of cell. The organization of cell in the body of a living organism determines its structure. The organization, how do the cells are organized? The structure of the living organism depends on that. The way an organism functions depend on the way the cell works. The way an organism functions, how will an organism will work, it will depend on how do the cell work. So I told you at the very beginning that therefore the cell are called structural and functional unit of life. In the next heading, it is given that organisms show variety in cell number, shape and size. Organisms show variety in cell number, shape and size. Cells show a wide variation in terms of shape, size, functions and other features. In unicellular organism, all functions of the body are carried out by a single cell. In multicellular organism, the various functions in the body are divided among different groups of cells. Number of cells. Certain organisms consist of only one cell or single cell. These single-celled organisms are called unicellular organism. As I already told you that amoeba is a single-cell animal. Can you name a single-cell plant? A single-cell plant is Chlamydomonas. Some other organisms consist of cell numbering from a few to billions. Such organisms are called multicellular organism. Unicellular organism, multicellular organism. Single cell organisms are called unicellular organism. For example, amoeba. Multicellular organisms are made up of more than one cell. It may be billions of cells. They are called multicellular organisms such as dog, man, etc. Size of the cells. In multicellular organisms, cells have different shapes and size. The size of a cell may vary from 0.1 micrometer, 0.1 micrometer to 0.1 into 10 to the power 6 meter. In our body, some blood cells are the smallest and the nerve cells are the largest. A single red blood cell is about 7 micrometer in size. Cells in kidneys, liver, intestine, etc. are about 20 to 30 micrometer in diameter. The egg cells of ostrich is the largest, about 7 centimeter in diameter. The Acetabularia, a unicellular organism, consists of a single cell having a length of 10 centimeter. The size of the cell has no relationship with the body size of the organism. The size of the cell is related to its function. For example, the nerve cell both in rat and the elephant are long and branched and perform the same function. That means nerve carried the impulse in case of rat also, in case of elephants also. And a nerve cell is branched. The structure of nerve cells is like this. This is the nucleus, this is the nucleolus, this is the nucleoplasm, this is the cell body. The cell body is known as soma. These hair-like projections are known as dendrite. And this end part is known as axon. And this tail region is covered with a sheet called myelin sheath. Myelin sheath. Myelin sheath. So this is the structure of nerve cell. The nerve cell carried the impulse from axon to dendrite. Shapes of the cells. Different cells have different shapes. The shape of a cell is related to its function and its location. Some cells are oval and round in shape. Certain others are elongated, thread-like. I already discussed. Amoeba is irregular in shape and keeps on changing its shape. The nerve cell is long, branched and has thread-like projection. The cell membrane provides shape to cell in plants and animals. The cell membrane provides shape to cells in plants and animals. The cell is covered by a membrane. This is called cell membrane. The cell membrane gives the shape of the cell in plants and animals. Now, I am going to discuss differences between animal cell and plant cell. In animal cell, cell wall is absent, but in plant cell, cell wall is present. In animal cell, plasma membrane is present. Plasma membrane or cell membrane is present, but in plant cell it is also present. In animal cell, nucleus is present. In plant cell also, nucleus is present. In animal cell, plastid is not present. But plant cell, plastid is present. Mitochondria is present in animal cell as well as present in plant cell. Now, this is the structure of a animal cell. This is called cell membrane. This is the nucleus. These are the chromosomes. This is the cytoplasm. This is the mitochondria. This is the nucleolus. And in plant cell, this is called cell wall. This is the nucleus. This is the nucleus. This is the nucleolus. These are the nucleoplasm and chromosome. This is the cytoplasm. This is cell membrane. Cell membrane. This is mitochondria. This is mitochondria. Large vacuole. Large vacuole. And in plant cell, plastid is present. Plastid is present. Now you see the differences with the chart that I have written on the whiteboard. In animal cell, cell membrane or plasma membrane is present. In plant cell also cell membrane is present. But cell wall is present, another wall. Cell wall is present in plant cell, but in animal cell, cell wall is absent. Plastid is present in plant cell, plastid is absent in animal cell. The vacuoles are bigger, larger vacuole present in plant cell, while in animal cell vacuole may be present, but it is small vacuole. So these are the differences between plant cell and animal cell. Try to find out the middle question, inside questions from the lesson. Read repeatedly the lesson so that you can understand easily. Thank you.